Today we're answering a question that comes up all the time in behavior analysis. What is the difference between a BCBA, a BCABA, and an RBT? This matters because these three roles are related, but they are definitely not the same. In this video, we're going to break down what a BCBA is, what a BCABA is, what an RBT is, and where the biggest differences are. The goal is to stop mixing up the roles and start understanding how they actually fit together in the field. One reason people confuse these three roles is that all of them are related to ABA, so they share the same basic behavioral framework. They may also work on the same service team, especially in clinical or educational settings, which makes them look similar from the outside. On top of that, the names sound alike, so people assume the differences are small. But the real difference is in level, authority, and responsibility. The main confusion usually comes down to this question: who designs services, who implements them, and who supervises whom? If we wanted to give the quick answer in one slide, it would look like this. A BCBA, or Board Certified Behavior Analyst, is the highest of the three in terms of independence. It is a graduate-level certification, and the person can practice independently and supervise others. A BCABA, or Board Certified Assistant Behavior Analyst, is a bachelor's level certification. It is a middle-level role, but it works under BCBA supervision. And an RBT, or Registered Behavior Technician, is a supportive direct service role. The RBT delivers services under supervision and focuses on implementation. So the simplest mental model is the independence ladder: BCBA at the top, BCABA in the middle, and RBT at the entry level. Now let's slow that down and look at the acronyms more carefully. BCBA stands for Board Certified Behavior Analyst. This is the highest level shown here, and it involves graduate-level training, independent practice authority, and supervisory responsibilities. BCABA stands for Board Certified Assistant Behavior Analyst. This is the assistant level, usually associated with bachelor's level preparation, practice under BCBA supervision, and in some settings, limited supervision of RBTs. RBT stands for Registered Behavior Technician. This is the technician or paraprofessional level. The RBT focuses on direct service implementation and requires ongoing supervision. So the key point from this slide is that these are three distinct credentials with three different roles. The first big difference is certification level. A BCBA is a higher professional level credential and typically requires a master's degree. A BCABA is an assistant level certification built around a bachelor's level pathway and supervision by a BCBA. An RBT is the technician or paraprofessional level, which is the entry point for direct implementation of behavior plans. This is one of the most testable distinctions, because exam questions often rely on role hierarchy. So remember the order clearly: BCBA is highest, BCABA is middle, and RBT is entry. These are not three different names for the same job. The second big difference is independent practice. A BCBA can provide services independently, which means the BCBA has full autonomy in areas like assessment, treatment planning, and clinical decision-making. A BCABA cannot practice independently from a BCBA and requires ongoing supervision. An RBT also does not practice independently. Instead, the RBT implements plans under supervision and works with direct oversight. The important idea here is that greater independence also means greater responsibility. The more authority a role has, the more accountability it carries for outcomes and clinical decisions. The third major difference is supervision structure. A BCBA can supervise both BCABAs and RBTs, which gives the BCBA the highest supervisory authority among the three. A BCABA may supervise RBTs in some contexts, but that supervisory role is more limited and still exists under BCBA oversight. An RBT is not a supervisory role at all. The RBT's focus is implementing behavior plans, not supervising others. So if you want the cleanest way to remember this slide, it is this: supervision flows downward. BCBA supervises both. BCABA may supervise RBTs in a limited way, and RBT has no supervisory authority. This slide shifts from title and hierarchy to what each role usually does in practice. The BCBA's primary focus is design. That includes assessing client needs and behaviors, designing treatment and behavior plans, analyzing data and progress, and adjusting treatment based on that analysis. The BCaBA's primary focus is support. That includes supporting BCBA-led services, assisting with plan implementation, participating in supervision, and helping bridge design and implementation. The RBT's primary focus is implementation. That means direct teaching and intervention, carrying out treatment plans, collecting behavioral data, and following specific protocols. So if you are trying to separate these roles, think in terms of design, support, and implementation. This slide brings together the differences in requirements and exams. Each role has a different entry path, which means the educational requirements, experience requirements, and certification processes are not the same. The BCBA has the highest requirements, including graduate-level education, extensive supervised experience, and a comprehensive exam. The BCaBA is the middle level, with bachelor's level education, specific coursework, and supervision requirements. The RBT has a more basic entry pathway, usually centered on a high school diploma, a 40-hour training process, and a competency assessment. So this is not just one profession with one exam. These are separate credentials with different requirements and different examination processes. The last slide turns this comparison into a career question: which one is right for you? If your goal is a direct service role and you want to work closely with clients in implementation, the RBT path may be the right starting point. If you want a middle-level role with more support responsibilities but still under supervision, BCaBA may fit better. And if your goal is independent practice, higher-level clinical decision-making, and greater authority, then BCBA is the path to focus on. So the best choice depends on your goals, your educational stage, and the level of responsibility you want. The most important thing is to start with the path that actually matches where you want to go. Once you understand that structure, everything else becomes much easier to organize and apply. And if you want to go one step further and start applying ABA concepts through structured practice, you can try a full mock exam at www.bcbamockexam.com. Because real progress comes from moving beyond understanding to actually using the concepts correctly.